Next up, we've got the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. I think it's probably the Big Ass Fans, and I just like saying Big Ass Fans on things because you're allowed to. Dirt Mile, $1 million, 2 turns on the dirt. My good friend, Maggie Wolfendale. Maggie, what's going on?
Not much. Looking forward to seeing Codys Wish for Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile again. See if he can repeat.
Well, I'm excited to have you on because we all know that you offer an unbelievable opinion in the paddock on horse flesh. But you've been lucky enough to see Codys Wish on a number of occasions. You saw him in what I thought was probably his best lifetime performance in the Met Mile. We were there for the Whitney when he didn't run as well. And then for the Vosburg, where I think a lot of people are wondering, was it workmanlike? Was it a trip? Was it whatever? What are your feelings on Codys Wish? What is his best situation to run his best race? Distance, 2 turns. What are your thoughts?
His best situation is a fast pace around 1 turn. And I think it was an honest pace in the Met Mile in which he had that devastating turn of foot, and that's the way he wants to do his running. And then in the Whitney, not that what's his face the oh my gosh, I'm completely
White Avario?
Yeah, thank you, White Avario, the great
You're
horse.
welcome. You've been traveling. You just got off of an airplane the other day. You're fine.
I'm a little bit jet lagged, to say the least. I can't even talk straight today, but you caught me at a great time, JK. So it's not like he was on the lead, but Cody didn't necessarily. I thought he'd be more forward in that Whitney to let him show that I think he is a horse that had shown that maturity within his races to maybe get the mile in an eighth. And then with the Vosburg, it was a slowish pace for those type of horses. I mean, lesser horses went faster over the same distance early on that same card. So his biggest problem right now is the gait. That is the problem with him. And I remember talking to Junior Alvarado after the Vosburg win, and it was the 3rd time in a row. And yes, he had been drawn down on the inside, which a lot of times the longer a horse has to wait, the more opportunity for them to act up. But both in the Whitney and the Vosburg, he was drawn outside. And so therefore, I think what has been happening, and Junior agreed with me, is that they think, oh, great, so I can just put him in and let him out type of thing. But rushing a horse like that isn't necessarily going to be the best thing. So I'm sure there's been a lot of schooling, and I think the gate crew, and now we're dealing with the gate crew that doesn't necessarily know him out in California. It just, I think, it could be a good thing in hindsight, but it could also not play again with him. You think of Quality Road and what that debacle was when he shipped out west. So it depends a lot on the draw, A, for Cody, and B, even more so, what kind of pace does he get to run at? Because last year he got some pace to run at, I think, at Keeneland.
From a physical standpoint, Mags, do you think that he's the same horse he was in the Met Mile that you saw in the Vosburg? Is he, some people will say maybe he's tailing off. What are your opinions in Cody's physicality?
So Cody now, I think, has really kind of reached that physical maturity. Like, he's got this big old crusty neck on him. He's really, really filled out. And so what I'm kind of thinking of, I remember going back to when he beat Jackie's Warrior in the Vanderbilt, the Forgo.
Yep.
He looked sensational. Just, really fit, streamlined. Every muscle was highlighted. Everything was where it needed to be. And now he's kind of bulked up a bit. And so sometimes I wonder, are we not getting a horse at its peak racing, potential? Are we seeing a horse that's kind of going over to what his next career might be? That horse that's getting a little too smart and maybe a little too cute. But again, he's Codys Wish and he's ultra talented. So he's not an immediate toss for me. I think a lot depends on how this pace plays out and how the track at Santa Anita is playing to, front runners versus closers. And is it a fair track?
Max, who do you think will make the lead? You mentioned the pace in this race.
I obviously pace makes the race. And I think it's really essential in this race. And it sounds like Brad Cox and his team, they want to give Zozos the best opportunity that they possibly can with him. And they believe that that is go with this horse. And yeah, he's lightly raced, but as Brad said, he feels like he's a fresh horse. So therefore they can use that as their best weapon. As you mentioned too before, it's not like he's the fastest horse in the world. So I don't think this race necessarily features as quick of a pace, but I do think he is the one that could steal it on the front end.
Well, you just came from across the pond yesterday, so I guess I should ask you about the other Godolphin horse, Algiers. What do you think about his chances?
Somewhat of a abbreviated campaign leading up to this Breeders' Cup. It's a shame we didn't get to see him over at the Big A. So reroute to north of the border in Canada at Woodbine and a prep on Tapeta. Okay, fine. He is a proven commodity on dirt. He ran really, really well. I just went back and watched his Dubai World Cup, in which he finished second, a pace that incinerated. The winner that day came from well back from last. And I think he, of the horses kind of attending the pace, forwardly placed, by far finished best of all. So is it a little too late with him? Is this really going to be his best gig? Yes, it feels like he might want a little bit more ground than this, to be honest.
Mags, feet to the fire. I'm doing it to you. Thumbs up or thumbs down on Codys Wish? That's fair enough. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for taking the time, and we'll see you soon on TV, I'm sure.
Yeah, you'll see. Yeah, exactly. I'll be holding it down in New York.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want more great content, choose one of the videos you see on screen now, or go to our website, inthemoneypodcast.com. And for even more, check out inthemoneypodcast.com/plus.